the lion who forgot to lead, the roar that ruled, the lion at his peak. In the early days, the lion ruled not with fear, but with presence. His roar wasn't just loud, it was meaningful. It signaled protection, unity, and order. The jungle thrived under his leadership. Predators respected boundaries. Prey felt safe. Even the wind seemed to carry his name with reverence. He didn't need to prove his strength. He used it wisely. When conflict arose, he mediated. When danger threatened, he defended. When the young needed guidance, he taught. The lion's crown was invisible, but undeniable. It was built from trust, earned through consistent action. He was the heartbeat of the jungle, not because he demanded it, but because he deserved it. This was leadership at its finest. Grounded, intentional, and deeply respected. The drift into ego. The crown begins to slip. But power, when left unchecked, begins to whisper. And the lion listened. He stopped walking the jungle. He stopped asking questions. He stopped learning. He began to believe his own legend, that he was untouchable, infallible, above the rules. He roared more often, not to guide, but to silence. He hunted more aggressively, not for survival, but for spectacle. He dismissed the concerns of others, not because they were wrong, but because he no longer cared. The jungle noticed. The gazelles grew cautious. The birds flew higher. The elephants walked slower. The lion didn't see it. He was too busy admiring his reflection in the river, mistaking fear for loyalty. And that's how the crown began to slip, not with rebellion, but with quiet withdrawal. The silence of the jungle. Respect turns to distance. One morning, the lion roared to gather the jungle. But no one came. The gazelles grazed without flinching. The birds sang different songs. The elephants didn't even look up. It wasn't defiance. It was indifference. The lion paced, confused. He roared louder. He demanded attention. But the louder he got, the quieter the jungle became. He was still feared. His claws were still sharp. His strength hadn't faded. But leadership isn't about strength. It's about connection. And the jungle had disconnected. The lion stood alone on his hilltop, surrounded by silence. Not because he was weak, but because he was no longer trusted. The mirror moment. The lion faces himself. Days passed. The jungle moved on. The lion wandered to the river, the same river where he once admired his reflection. But this time he saw something different. He saw a creature with tired eyes, a mane heavy with pride, a face that looked powerful but felt hollow. He didn't cry. Lions don't cry. But something inside him broke. He whispered to the wind, "I lost my crown, not to a rival, but to myself." It was the first honest thing he'd said in years. And in that moment, the lion understood. A crown isn't worn, it's lived. The climb back to honor, the redemption begins. The lion didn't beg for forgiveness. He chose a different path. He started walking the jungle again, not as a king, but as a student. He listened to the birds. He protected the gazelles. He sat with the elephants and asked for their wisdom. He hunted only when needed. He roared only when necessary. He led by example, not by force. Slowly, the jungle responded. The birds returned to his trees. The gazelles grazed near his den. The elephants invited him to walk beside them. He didn't reclaim the old crown. He built a new one made of humility earned through action. The roar reborn. The true king returns. One evening, the lion stood atop the hill again. He looked out over the jungle, not with pride, but with gratitude. He roared, not to command, not to intimidate, but to celebrate. And the jungle roared back, not because he was feared, but because he was followed. His crown wasn't visible, but everyone felt it, in his presence, in his choices, in the way he moved with the jungle, not above it. He had lost his crown once, but in losing it, he found something greater, purpose. You are the lion. Your crown is your character. Your jungle is your world. You don't lose your crown when you fail. You lose it when you forget why you lead. Reclaim it by listening. Strengthen it by serving. Protect it by staying humble. Because the crown isn't worn. It's lived.